Hi guys, I'm Perva and we're Forge. So tools make you speak their language. Forge flips this. You can speak your own programming language into existence. What we do is you can enter any natural language that you want. So for example, let's say I wanted a programming language defined purely for financial tools. Generate me a Pythonic language with advanced stock market built-in functions for technical analysis, let's say. So if I was something like a financial advisor, something like that, I would be able to get a domain-specific programming language. What it does is it takes my natural language, it puts it into Gemini to generate a specification file for this language. But what are we going to do just with the syntax? That's why we have Chisel, a C++/Go function that actually takes this code and takes any syntax definition. So even if you didn't want to use Gemini, it could take any syntax definition, create an AST, and from there, you can compile a deterministic binary that would interpret your language offline. And from here, you've made your very own programming language in less than 5 minutes.
Okay, hey guys, now that the binary is complete, you now have your very own sandbox to test your new programming language and your new interpreter. And you can even go back to the drawing board if need be by clicking back into the main terminal. So we now have our example code on the left side, and we have the output that we have on the right side. So for example, I can print out something like I love computers, for example. And then if I click run, you'll see that the output shows I love computer. And you can also use the new built-in functions that are created like SMA or Golden Cross or RSI that we define in the documentation. And then really the sky's the limit because you can test everything with your own values. But you can also look at the documentation to figure out how to use it and what your language can do. So we have the data types and the operations that we're able to do, and then we also have built-in functions, and then we have exactly what each function does completely documented. And so it kind of wouldn't be a good interpreter if you couldn't use it yourself. So we give you access to the Chisel compiled C++ files. So if you just click download interpreter, you can click allow, and you download the actual Forge files that you need to run your compiler. So let's open up a new terminal here. And let's just compile our file. So we just got to do Clang++ if you're on Mac or on and -stt, so boom. And then there comes our a.out file, and then we just got to copy our example code over. And so in my terminal, I will touch a new file. Boom. And then we just got to do a.out example. And then there we go. Completely runnable interpreter and binary right on your local machine, generated within 5 minutes. So why would you use something like this? In my opinion, there are two very important reasons for this product. Not many people really think about the use cases for creating their own programming language because it's never been so accessible until today. The first use case is something that we saw here, making a domain-specific language and having the built-in functions that you need in the syntax that you want. It doesn't matter if you're a financial analyst at a bank or you've never seen a print hello world function before. You can make your language as easy or as hard as you want and open yourself to a world of scripting. The second reason, and I think, is education. I think this one is huge. Imagine you're a teacher teaching children from the ages of around 12 to 15, and they don't know Python. You could use block programming like Scratch to get them used to programming concepts, but there's no good in-between between Scratch and Python. We can make an easier version of Python with selected functions from a teacher and have them be able to learn more transferable skills. This makes learning more fun, more dynamic, and it lowers barriers to entry for underdeveloped countries because the code is open source and nobody needs to pay thousands of dollars for proprietary software for teaching or to make their own full programming language.